One turn to the right, followed by two to the left, or one turn to the left, followed by two to the right.
Let's set that Clover the barrel pattern ways must make one right-hand turn, two left-hand turns. Take it one left, two right. Take it mark and flip it, rock it, do all in one as long as that barrel doesn't hit the ground.
Hey everyone, welcome to Cloverleaf Chats. I'm your host, Savannah Shumpert, and today I am here with Savannah Shumpert. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to get to do this.
Okay, so we're going to start with just tell some of your biggest accomplishments. That way people can kind of get to know you.
Okay, so I'm Savannah. I am the 2023 WCRA DY Jr Division World Champion. I am a finalist of the Hooey Jr Patriot, and I ended up 7th in the short round. I have won barrel racing titles at the local level in Little Britches, as well as a breakaway reserve championship and some ribbon roping titles. And I was a contestant in the BBR Fast 50, and I've been to the BBR 1D shootout and the BBR 2D shootout several times.
Alrighty. So I've got the 20 questions that we took from social media, and then I've got some that I ask everyone on every podcast. So we're going to start with the first of the 20 questions. Is Striker push style or free, and how do you ride him?
Striker is a little bit interesting. So I would say that I don't really know how to describe it. He's free as in, like, when you go to the first barrel, you have to help him find it, because if you just run him in there and throw him away, it's not going to go well. He's very much, you have to frame him up with your legs. And at the second and third barrel, he's pretty automatic. You just push him up in the hole and give him his head. But at the first barrel, you definitely have to guide him and help him with the pocket, or else he'll kind of come too straight.
Okay, someone asked this one, and I'm asking because I want to know, which of my horses would you steal from me and run?
If I could steal one of Sherden's horses, I mean, I think I'd steal Lucky. That's pretty much a no-brainer.
What's your favorite run? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I've run him before and won a little bit on him, so he's pretty fun. I like him.
What's your favorite run you've ever made?
That's a hard one, but I guess my favorite run I've ever made was in 2021. I went to the Little Britches Finals for the first time, and it was my very first run in the Junior Girl Barrels go-round. I was on my horse Broadway Laney that I called Lana. And she went in there and made a really smoking run. She made a really smoking run and won the go-round. So it was my first run out of the gate at Nationals and first run out and won the go-round. So it doesn't get much better than that.
What is your fastest time on a standard?
I don't know. Is it it's either a 17.3 or 17.4. I haven't had much luck on a standard.
Me either, girl.
I think Striker ran a 3 at Pink Buckle, but it was either a 17.3 or it was like a short 4.
Okay. What's your favorite arena?
Let me think about that one for a second. I'm gonna say my favorite arena. Hold on, it's kind of a big question, I think. My favorite arena that I've run in is probably Cowtown.
Oh my gosh, I love Cowtown.
It's hard to, and nowhere else to me has like the same atmosphere, the same just energy. The back is so cool. There's so much history to it. And it's just such a fun arena. I really like it.
Okay, how many buckles have you won?
You should have prepared me for these questions.
I'm sorry.
Over 20, but I don't know exactly.
Okay, what are your favorite drills to do?
I'm probably gonna sound a little old-fashioned here, but I don't really like to do drills because, I mean, unless I'm like specifically working on something, I don't do drills. Because I feel like it's unnecessary. Running barrels is pretty simple. You know, it's 3 turns. So I don't want to make that any harder for a horse, you know, by adding extra patterns and stuff they got to think about. So the only drills that I will really ever do is just figure 8s. And I like to do those without any barrels in the arena, like they could be barrels in the arena, but I don't do the figure eights with barrels in them because then I feel like the horses are too focused on trying to turn the barrel. And the reason I do the figure eights is just because I like to feel out their body position. And if there's anything I need to correct, like with their hips or their rib cage, I can do it without that horse like zeroing in on the barrel. And then I can take them to the pattern and fix it there. But yeah, occasionally I'll do some figure eights just to let the horse feel themselves and let me kind of do what I call a checkup on their body position. And like, especially for a young horse, doing figure eights is good to help them get their leads swapped and feel that turn several times without having to work the pattern every time. I have done rights and lefts on the barrel pattern just when I felt like a horse wasn't listening to me, which is basically you turn all the barrels to the right and then all the barrels to the left. And I have done the 4 corners drill, which is you set up 4 barrels and then you turn them all to the left or all to the right. But I haven't done that one in a really long time because, like I said, I try, if I'm going to do anything, I'd much prefer to do it with 3 barrels, like rights and lefts is at least still the barrel pattern. But I don't do that very often because I never want a horse second guessing what side of the barrel they're supposed to go on.
Okay. What's your estimated lifetime earnings? It's okay if you don't have like an exact number, but like an estimated guess.
I'm gonna say estimated, probably close to 40,000. This is my best year that I've had. I think I've won about 20,000 this year. And I think I won about 12,000 last year. So that would put me like 32, and I had like a big check at All-American. I'm gonna say like 40 to 45,000. I probably haven't cleared 50 just yet.
What's your smoothest horse to ride and to run?
The smoothest horse is definitely Striker. I feel like that's a no-brainer. He's so big and tall, and it's kind of in his bloodline. He's just very smooth. He's very honest. He doesn't want to hit a barrel. And he's really nice to ride at home. His body type to me, I like him. He's not too fat, not too skinny. He's right, nice in the middle, and he has a wonderfully smooth stride. He's really fun to ride at home. He makes my job easy.
Okay, let me see. What's your favorite rodeo shirt brand?
My favorite rodeo shirt brand is probably Barrel Barbie.
Okay, let me look. What's updates on all your horses? So just go through them by name, update. The people want to know.
Okay, the people demand. The update on Lana is that she is doing good, loving semi-retirement. I'm just kind of waiting to see how she feels, how I like the way she looks, whether I'm going to run her again or not, because I've always been one to say that if a horse can't perform to the best of their ability, then because of age or whatever, I'm not going to keep running them. I will retire her while she is still feeling like herself. I don't ever want to just keep running her till she doesn't like her job anymore. The update on French Fry is that he's still kicking. He's still winning checks. He feels just as good in his old age as he did 4 years ago. He's running hard. He's doing good, and he is just his usual consistent self. Minnie just got back from some injections and is feeling really good. I made a run on her last weekend and hoping that everything holds out and I can get some more runs in on her here pretty soon. Striker is doing good. He got some injections not too long ago, and he is just lighting them up at the rodeo. Like I said, he makes my job easy. Really like him. And then Colonel is just living his best life, chilling, eating food, and getting lots of petting. All right, did I miss anyone?
I think that's everything you have, isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's too late for this.
This is an interesting one. Like pro rodeo events and pro rodeo athletes. What's your favorite athlete from each event?
Oh, okay. My favorite barrel racer has got to be Haley Kinsel. I just think sister is the coolest. My favorite tie-down roper is Shad Mayfield. Once again, the aura. He's just the coolest. I got to meet him in person at the Patriot in 2023, and he was so nice. My favorite bull rider. Let me think about that for a second. I don't pay much attention to the bulls, if I'm being totally honest. like I said, I don't pay much attention, so I don't really have a favorite. I kind of know WC Shawla, so, like, I like to see him win just because I've, like, gone to some of these same events he's gone to, and it's kind of cool to see him win at the pro rodeo. My favorite bareback rider is Rocker Steiner do bareback or Saddle Bronc?
Rocker does bareback.
Okay, my favorite bareback rider is Rocker Steiner, partly because he's the only one I know, but I do like his attitude. Wait, what does Jess Pope do?
Also bareback.
Okay, well, Jess Pope is like a close second.
Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I don't pay much
all right,
attention.
Saddle Bronc, let me think. What does Ashley Landingham do?
Bareback.
So apparently all I know is bareback riders, y'all. I don't pay no attention to Saddle Bronc. I'm sorry.
I like who's the one from California that isn't Lefty Holman a Saddle Bronc rider? I like him.
Yeah, but he's not my favorite Saddle Bronc rider.
I know.
Isn't he like a Wright brother? Doesn't Ryder Wright do Saddle Bronc?
Yeah.
I don't know him. They're all cool. So, like I said, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't pay much attention to Saddle Bronc. My favorite steer wrestler, hands down, is Will Loomis, Big Will. He lives just down the road, so love him and Miss Jenna. So, obviously going to root for my boy Will. And team ropers. My favorite team ropers are Junior Negata and Caleb Driggers. They're just super cool.
Okay, this one says. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, you're good. That's it.
Wait, no, you had breakaway.
Breakaway. Oh, that's hard. I love all the breakaway ropers. Let me think for a second. It's got to be. I don't know. It's a hard race between like the three greats: Jackie Crawford, Larry DeGuy, and J.J. Hampton. I think I got to go with Larry DeGuy. She's just cool. I like what she's done for the industry, how she builds people up. I love Jackie Crawford because she's so sweet. Her hair's always on point. She went to the NFR while pregnant. I mean, she takes the kids everywhere. She's just a total girl boss. But I like Larry D. She's quiet. She reminds me of me in a lot of ways. And I just really think that she's cool. So I guess Larry DeGuy.
Okay, this one says non-horse related question, but how long have you been a Christian?
So I guess technically I've been a Christian since I was a little kid, but to me, I never felt like I was saved or like genuinely knew Jesus till I was 12.
Okay.
So that would be 6 years.
What's your favorite color to run barrels in? I think I know this.
A pink.
I knew it was going to be pink. I know.
Yeah, I like a good hot pink shirt. Best 6 years of my life, by the way.
What are your tips for getting out of the slump?
Getting out of the slump. Okay, my first tip would be if you've ever made, like, when you've made a bad run, right? Watch the run once or twice, pick apart what you did wrong, look at it, understand what you did wrong, and then delete the run from your phone. Don't post it online. Don't post it anywhere where it can come back up in your memories a year later at a bad time. Don't post it. Don't look at it. Delete it from your phone. Never watch it again. Forget the arena. Forget the horse. Forget the time. Pretend like you never made the run. You didn't make it. My second advice for getting out of the slump, anytime you make a good run, you win a check, you felt good about it, your horse felt good, post it. Post it to social media. Post it somewhere you can see it. You can go back and watch it. And so whenever I'm in a slump, I go back, and mine are all on TikTok, so I'll just go through my TikTok profile, and I will just scroll and watch run after run after run after run. And it's just like success after success after success. And that way you can just remind yourself that you do know how to do this. You do know what you're doing. And like I said, I don't ever dwell on a bad run. I don't post a bad run. I don't know if y'all have noticed, I never post hit barrels. I hardly ever post broken patterns unless they're funny because I don't want to watch it. I don't need that reminder. I don't need that to pop up in my Facebook memories a year from now, you know, the day before I'm supposed to make a big run on the same horse. And then I'm sitting there thinking about, well, a year ago I hit the first barrel. That's not helpful. So delete the old runs, watch the good runs as many times as you need to watch them. The fact is, in rodeo, you have to be your own hype person. So watch your runs, make a hype reel, play that. Another thing that I say is, if you're in a slump and it's like, it depends on the kind of slump you're in. If your horse and your timing with your horse is wrong, get in the practice pen. There is no remedy. There is no other way around practice. It doesn't matter what supplements you give or what bit you put on or what saddle you try or what medicine you give or any patches. There is no substitute for practice, for hours spent in the saddle, for wet saddle blankets. Horses work best, in my opinion, with a wet saddle blanket. So if it's a fundamental issue, then you need to get in the arena and work on it with your horse, whether that's walking the pattern, doing it slow and perfectly, trotting the pattern, doing it slow and perfectly. I don't like loping horses through the pattern a lot because I feel like you can fry their brains pretty quickly. They don't need to do it over and over and over again. But if you need to lope through the pattern and your horse is too hot to let you do that, go find something like a retired horse, an old horse, a lesson horse that will just let you lope through the pattern. Slide your hand down, go to the saddle horn, turn your head, very basics. But then if it's a mental slump, that's totally different. If it's a mental slump, I would go back to watching my videos. I'd watch my old hype videos. And then I'd also, what I like to do before a run is I turn on my music. I don't let anybody talk to me. I get really in the zone. I sit there and I envision the run going perfectly over and over and over. And that's something I learned from Fallon Taylor. And then so by the time that it's time to make the run, I've envisioned it so many times. I mean, I go down, if I can see the color of the barrels and the color of the banners, I'm going to envision the color of the barrels and the color of the banners. The color of the dirt, whatever. I want it to be as close as possible to the real thing. If you're going to a rodeo, like you don't know the pin, look up videos from last year. Try to picture in your mind that arena and just make, like I said, so if it's a physical slump, timing, practice over and over and over. If it's a mental slump, same thing, just in a different zone. Practice, making that run in your head over and over and over. Think about them calling you a new leader. You went to the lead. You smoked the first barrel. The announcer's cheering. The people are cheering. Whatever you need to do to remind yourself that you are good at what you do and that your horse is good at what you do, so that in the moment you can go in there and make your run and you don't have to think about it.
Okay, let me see. I just want to give you, I think that might be the best answer we've had to that question because we've had it all 3 times, but that was a really good one.
Thanks, man. I've been listening to this audiobook. It helped me kind of compile my thoughts. But I think to me, barrel racing and even more so breakaway or open is about your mental game. Like, yes, you've got to practice, you've got to have your horse right, your reflexes have to be lightning quick. But if you can't get out of your own head, if you can't zone into the moment, leave behind everything else, almost in my opinion, you have to disassociate just a little bit. Just forget about everything else and be that person in that moment of time and space. If you can't do that, it's going to be hard to win because it's hard when there's something else going on outside the arena to even feel like running your horse around 3 barrels matters. There's been times where I was going in the alleyway and I was like, why am I doing this? Why does this matter? And the fact is you have to just put that aside and say, I am here to do my job. I'm going to do my job for 15 seconds, 16 seconds, whatever it is, and I can think about all of this after. All of this will still be there when I get back. But for these 15 seconds, this is what I can do. This is my job, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability.
And now on a question that doesn't require near as much thought. How many rodeo shirts do you have?
Well, that requires even more thought. I don't know. All right, hold on. Let me think for a second. Okay, I've got that many of that brand. Hold on. I'm going to give you a ballpark. Let me count. Okay, I'm going to say like roughly 12 to 14. It's definitely over 10.
Okay. This one should be really, really easy. How old is Striker?
Striker is 6.
What's your favorite shirt?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I gotta say because like sometimes they change because it's like a favorite song, you know how it shifts out.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess my solid favorite that I like to wear is my hot pink Barrel Barbie shirt that says Barrel Barbie all over it, like in the Barbie font. That's my favorite shirt.
Okay. What's your favorite color to wear on Striker?
I mean, my favorite color is pink, so I just kind of wear that on everything. I particularly think that he looks good in blue, so sometimes I wear blue on him because he has, like, blue leg boots and a blue halter and all that. But, I mean, it's hard to beat barrel racing in a hot pink shirt.
And this is our last social media question, then I have the ones that I have.
Okay.
How many years have you been running barrels?
I've been running, well, it kind of depends on your definition. I've been riding horses and running barrels since I was 2, so that would be 16 years. But now, like, seriously, competitively running barrels, I've only been doing that since I was about 11, so that would be 7 years.
Okay, and these are the ones that I've just kind of got on every thing that I've asked everyone so far. Okay.
Mhm.
Horses in your barn and how they're bred. So all your horses and how they're bred.
Okay. We'll start with the star herself. Broadway Laney is a 19-year-old sorrel quarter horse mare. She is by Broadway Joe Starlight and out of Bingo Laneo. I'm super impressed I remembered that.
I am too.
Then we have French Fry. He's Bogies French Talker. He is a 19-year-old sorrel gelding. He is by Bogies Frenchman. And
Frenchman's Bogey.
Frenchman's Bogey? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's that thing's name. I don't know.
It's Frenchman's Bogey, I think. And then honestly, I don't know his mom. I got to be real honest. I just know that he's Frenchman's guy. He's a Frenchman's guy grandson, and I don't know his mom. I'm sorry.
Isn't his mom like something T?
I don't know. You know his his pedigree better than I do.
It's like the tea sipper, maybe? I don't know.
I
might be making that. I might completely be making that up.
But then I have Slick French Mimosa. That's Minnie. She is an 8-year-old black quarter horse mare. She is by Slick by Design and out of Native French Girl, who is by Frenchman's Guy. So she's what they call the Magic Cross. And then I have Striker. His name is Schoen Smooth Moves. He is by a Smooth Guy, and he is out of Schoen No Mercy, who is by Dash to Fame. So that's another cross that seems to work, are the Smooth Guys on the Dash to Fame. And then I have Colonel, who is a, I think, 15-year-old quarter horse gelding. He's almost a paint. By the old rules of the Quarter Horse Association, he would be a paint, because he has a white spot on his belly, or 2 white spots, and he has a sock that comes up really high, but they changed the rules, so he's a quarter horse. But his registered name is Frisco's Colonel Sugar Bar, I think. Is it 1 sugar bar or 2?
I think it's 1.
I think it's 1. And honestly, I don't know his pedigree at all. He's a breakaway horse. He's solid. He's a good boy. His dad is good, and his mom is a good boy. So he's a good boy.
I forget what he is. He's by like a really good roping stallion, like
just
like a nice roping stallion. But I can't remember what. I don't do roping. I don't know it like that. Okay. What are your goals for the rest of 2024 and 2025?
My goals for the rest of 2024, I would like to make the SPFR, the Southeastern Professional Rodeo Finals. I would like to make the Lone Star Finals. I would like to qualify again for the Hooey Jr. Patriot. I have not missed a year since 2020. I would like to buy a WPRA permit and fill a WPRA permit. And I would like to rope a little more, some live cattle by the end of the year. And I would like to win an open rodeo on Striker, and I like to win a buckle from an open rodeo. And those are just like a few. I have them all written down in my planner.
Oh, okay. What is your weekly workout routine for your horses?
Okay, so it depends on the horse, but the general rule I stick to is if they're going to go that weekend, they need at least 3 days of riding. So, like, if I'm going to run a horse Friday, typically I'd ride them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, give them off Thursday, and then run them Friday. Most horses I like to give off the day before I take them to the rodeo. There are some exceptions, like Striker. Sometimes I feel like if I give him the day off before the rodeo, he's too fresh when we get there. But typically, I don't feel prepared with a horse no matter what age they are if they haven't been ridden at least 3 times in a week. And so with the amount of horses I have plus rodeos, I'm usually riding 5 to 6 days a week, if not 7. I try to take at least 1 day off, but it doesn't always work out.
What are your tips for hauling horses and, like, keeping them calm and everything and healthy?
My first tip for hauling horses is always pack a hay bag. It just gives them a nice incentive to get on the trailer. Plus, as they're eating hay, going to a rodeo, they're coating their stomach. So if most of y'all already know this, but hay will coat a horse's stomach. So if they have ulcers, that will actually help and kind of ease that pain because it's something for the acid in their stomachs to dissolve. Because the reason they get ulcers is because their stomachs continually pour acid because they're grazing animals. But when we have them up on the trailer in the stall, they're not always grazing. So the stomach keeps pouring acid, but there's nothing in the stomach, so it can eat into the wall of their stomach and cause an ulcer. So I would load a hay bag. If I had a horse that was difficult to get on the trailer, I would definitely feed that horse on the trailer every day, just to give them a reason to get on the trailer. My advice for horses, some horses like to back off the trailer and some horses like to turn around. My advice would be don't fight them. Just let them do what they want to do. So long as it's not dangerous or they're not, bullying you or running you over, it's fine. Whatever makes them happier. And I always did like cloud rides. It just depends on the horse that you have. Some people use them, some people love them, some people don't. Obviously, if you're going to haul horses, you need mats and shavings in the trailer. That's a bare minimum. You need mats for performance horses. That's too far to ride with the bumps in the road. Shavings are not enough, in my opinion. And obviously, keep your windows down when it's hot. Keep them up when it's cold. If you pull over at the gas station and you've been driving for more than 4 hours, I'd offer them water. You're not going to hurt your horse by offering them water on the trailer. And you can give them some electrolytes if they don't want to drink. Personally, what I would say, and some people disagree with this, I have never been one that thinks it's a good idea to unload a horse off a trailer at a gas station. It just seems like it's asking them to get loose in the road. So, unless, there's a medical reason that your horse needs to get out and walk around, and some horses probably have that. If you've got to get the horse off the trailer, fine, so be it. But if there's really no reason for you to get that horse off the trailer, they'll be fine. They're much safer on the trailer than they are in the Love's dog park,
Oh my gosh, I've seen videos of people with them out there.
That's what I'm saying. I get it if it's necessary, but if you're worried about them being tight and cramped when they get there, then get them off the trailer at the facility and go walk around for 10 to 20 minutes, stretch them out. But please don't get them out near the freeway if you don't have to. That was just always my opinion.
Okay. What are your tips for horses with gait issues?
That's a good one. I've had a lot of gait issues. So my first tip is make sure that the gait issue is the horse's problem and not your problem. I know that there are some horses that have gait issues, but there are also some people that have gait issues. And Sheridan will not like me telling people this, but nervous ticks before you run can really stress your horse out. Like Sheridan's thing is she always reaches back to her whip.
This is true.
And she pops her whip. She taps on the swells, and then she pops her whip, and then she fixes her hat, and then she shifts in her stirrups. every time she does that is like basically telling the horse, oh my gosh, we're getting ready to run. We're getting ready to run right now. It's almost your turn. It's almost your turn. And every time she shifts her weight or pops her whip, that horse just gets all the more anxious. But so my first tip, tip number one for gait issue is make sure it's not an injury. Take your horse to the vet. Take your horse to the vet regularly. 9 times out of 10, a gait issue is caused by an injury. I'm going to say 5 out of those times it's bleeding. Bleeding's the most common form of gait issue ever. Even if you think that your horse has never bled and isn't bleeding, it probably has bled, and if it's not on Lasix, it probably is bleeding to some extent. I know fitness is super important for horses. Keeping them fit can really help with bleeding, for sure. And obviously there are some different ways to go about it, but now my tried and true method is Lasix. And so make sure that they're not injured, especially make sure they aren't bleeding. I can't tell you how many horses that I've fixed just Lasix. That's it. And I would say your presence of mind in the gate needs to be really good. If you're not calm, you can't expect them to be calm. They're prey animals. You have to be in charge. If you don't want to go to the alleyway, why on earth would your horse want to go to the alleyway? So whenever your horse, if they're spinning, if they're backing up, try your best not to go to the saddle horn, because that's just telling them that you're scared. Look up at the hole. Don't be looking down at your stirrups. Don't be looking at your gate help. Don't be looking behind you, because then they just want to go there. Look at the alleyway. Look at the pattern. Take a deep breath. Relax. Let the tension out of your body. Let that horse know that it is okay. There's not a lion waiting to get them at the timer line. Everything's going to be fine. And another thing you can do is you can work on this at home. Like when I had a horse that had a bad gait issue, I would ride it in and out of the gate at home and kind of bait it into acting up so I could calm it down again. Ride him in and out of the gate at home. Take him to the show, exhibition them, ride them in and out of the gate. Before their turn, go and sit them in the gate and relax. Just let them sit there. And this is my last thing I'll say on it. And this isn't necessarily like the answer that some people want to hear, but it's just what I found in my experience. Some of these horses, especially the higher power horses that you get, these 1D champions, they're just quirky. In my opinion, a horse has to have an ego to win. A horse that has a little bit of an ego can win a little bit. A horse that has a pretty good ego can be a champion. And a horse that has a really big ego and is just almost a jerk, those are the ones that will win everything. Those are the legends. They have to have an ego. So sometimes your gait issue is due to all those other factors. And sometimes it's just the fact that your horse is a winner. And you have to put up with it a little bit. And you have to do what you have to do, whether that horse needs a buddy horse, whether they need a special drug, whether they need you to walk circles and spin to the left twice, whatever it is that horse needs. So long as they're not dangerous, do what you have to do to make your horse happy. And accept that some of them are just never going to walk in the gate flat-footed. It's just not who they are. They're just like pro athletes. This is their time to compete, and they're excited and they're nervous, and they are just not pets. They're not going to walk in there flat-footed. That's not what they're made for. It's not what they're bred for. It's not what we train them for. I have no problem with a horse being excited when it's its turn. They want to win. They're trained to win. So there's no reason that I should expect that horse to just trail right into the gate. My heart's pounding. Their heart's pounding. I try my best to be calm, and obviously it's such a luxury to have one that will walk in the gate. I love having those horses. But on the horses that don't, I understand that they're winners, and at the end of the day, that's just how they are.
Okay, let me see. Who is your performance horse vet? I already know the answer to this.
My usual performance horse vet is Dr. Greg Ford. I think he does a great job. He's always been really good. He's helped several of my horses have comebacks. I'm sorry, I've got a cough. But cut that out.
Cutting it.
The doctor that I would recommend if you need surgery, I would recommend ESMS Hospital in Weatherford, Texas. I like Dr. Chad Marsh. He's done several times. And he's looked at some of my other horses. He's taking care of them. I think he does a fabulous job. I've always really liked what he does to our horses, and I feel like he is a really, really great vet.
Okay, let me see. I know the answer to all of these, but I'm still asking. What's the furthest you've ever been for a barrel race?
Las Vegas.
Okay, let me see. I'm looking. Hold on. What does your rodeo rig look like? I know there's people in my rodeo rig.
My rodeo rig, quotation marks, is my wonderful truck, Fancy. It's a 2021 used Z71 Chevrolet. I love that truck. It's a great truck. I take it everywhere. I take it to college. I take it to the rodeo. It's so cute. It has little steps that let you get up into the tailgate. I love it. It's great. It's like the perfect teenage girl truck. The trailer is a bumper pull Lakota, and it is nothing especially fancy, but it is solid. It has been a kabillion miles, and it is still in really good condition. I love Lakotas, and I really like that trailer.
What are your favorite therapies to do on your horses to keep them feeling good?
Okay, so I'm not huge on therapies unless I've been I got a cough again. Oh, unless I've been specifically told that a horse needs a therapy. I don't like to overdo it on them, but my favorite things to do are this is going to sound super basic, but just your usual painkillers. A Previcox or an Equiox is what you call it. Quarter of that on some of my horses that have joint issues. But then I like to do an Equirest, the day before I go to a rodeo or a show, or even the morning of if I didn't get to do it the day before. I like to Equirest them. I feel like it gets all that dust out of their lungs. And sometimes even after I've been to an especially dusty rodeo, I'll Equirest them again because, like I said, I'm trying to get that dust out of their lungs. And especially if your horse is a bleeder, I got a cough.
My computer's trying to die.
I'm sorry, do I need to hurry up?
No, it's fine. It says it has about 10 minutes, so I think we can get done.
Okay, I gotta hurry up. Anyway, I like to Equirest them, and I like, let me think. I've used flare strips in the past. I like flare strips. I like magnet gear. I've used magnet gear. I can tell that it works because I have a barn cat that chooses to sleep on it, and the cats will choose to sleep on the magnet gear over the other stuff. So, you've got to think that it feels better. And this doesn't really count as therapy. It's just something I like to do. I like to put fly boots on them, especially in the summertime. I don't do the sheets, but I'll do a fly mask and fly boots when I'm hauling them. I don't leave them on in the pasture because I'm always worried about missing an injury. But, on the trailer, at least, they're standing there, and they can't really move to get away from the flies. So or standing at the trailer for a rodeo. So I like to have the boots on to just kind of help them out a little bit.
What bits are your horses in?
Minnie and Striker actually run in the same bit. It is a 3-piece dog bone, Sherry Survey with I don't know if it's a long shank. I think it is. And then Lana runs in a 3-piece dog bone Kathy James, with a pretty short shank. And then French Fry runs in a Simplicity. He, French Fry's bit is essentially nothing. He's very easy in his mouth. You don't have to pull he is, I wouldn't say he's light in his mouth, but, it doesn't take a lot of bit to help him out. And I'm trying to think. I was going to say something else about Lana's bit, or was it, what I was going to say is, the way I do my bits, I don't really do the bit to the horse. I do the bit to me. I think that bits are honestly more for the person riding in them than the horse, which is why you'll see trainers and they have their favorite bit and they use it on all their colts. I think that some people just like the way that certain bits feel. My favorite bit is for sure the 3-piece dog bone Sherry Survey. If I don't know what to put on a horse, I put that on there and it usually works. So yeah.
Okay, let me see. Favorite brand of jeans?
My favorite brand of jeans are Wranglers.
Do you like running better in the summer or the winter?
That's a good question. I like the rodeos in the summer because, like, you're off school. It's easier. You don't have to deal with your legs cramping so much in the summertime. The evenings are wonderful, and the rodeos are much more fun. Like, they are much more fun in the summer because it's at the evening. But, boy, when you draw up in that morning perf or that afternoon perf, or when you're, like, trying to ride your horses and you can't, like, you literally have to sit inside and wait because it's so hot, I do like winter better because of that. And I feel like I can ride more horses in the winter, like, physically. Like, in the summertime, after riding 2 or 3 head, I'm give out. I'm sweating. I'm hot. I just want to go in the house and lay down. In the winter, that cold just makes it easier. It's like your muscles recover quicker, and you're not having to work so hard to keep yourself cool. So I feel like you can ride more horses easier in the winter.
Okay, let me see. Favorite saddle pad brand?
That's probably a tie between Best Ever and 5-Star. Both of those are really solid brands. Either one's going to get the job done. I really like both.
Favorite barrel race to run at?
Favorite barrel
or rodeo,
race.
whatever.
Okay, rodeo. My favorite barrel race is hands down the Patriot. My favorite rodeo? That's a hard one because I don't usually go to the same rodeos every single time. Yeah, so I'll have to. I don't know that I have a favorite rodeo because I go to so many. It's hard to pick a favorite. But my favorite barrel race is for sure the Patriot.
Okay, so I wanted to do this one because I've seen many online arguments about this one, so I have to know. Even though I already know your answer, but front leg boots or front and back, and why or why not do you use one or the other?
Okay. So once again, this just comes down to know your horse. I can't overstate that enough. Do whatever makes your horse happy. I personally like them to have the support on the back. So, like, if I'm starting a horse, I will put the back leg boots on. And, like, in the case of Peggy, I started her with back leg boots because I wanted her to run in them. And she hated those things so badly. She hated them. So I just took them off. There's no point. There's no point in making the horse unhappy or uncomfortable. So
she will still
Striker,
kick you over them.
Peggy doesn't like them. Striker was not started in back leg boots. Like, he was with Marnie Loosenort. She doesn't really put a lot of back leg boots on. So I just left him alone. I just give him front leg boots. French Fry only runs in front leg boots once again because that's how I was told that he runs. Lana and Minnie both run in front and backs because they've had ankle issues in the past, and I've been told by a vet to ride them in leg boots at home. However, if I haven't been told by a vet to ride in leg boots at home, obviously I always ride in bell boots. That's a no-brainer. I don't ride in leg boots unless they have ankle issues because I feel like it makes them too hot. Like it's 100 degrees. I'm going to be on them for 45 to 50 minutes. I don't feel like they need the leg boots.
Okay, and final question. I know your answer, but I still have to ask. Rodeos or barrel races, and why?
I got to say rodeos. And that's because, A, they're much more about the showmanship. Barrel racing is much more about, like, the fine-tuning of the sport. Rodeo is much more about the show. There's an audience, there's a crowd. You get dressed up. You see little kids. They want to pet your horse. I love all that. I love to show them my horses and entertain. Because at the end of the day, yes, I'm an athlete, but I'm also an entertainer. We don't get, the crowds are what help supply our paychecks. So I like to entertain. I like to wear flashy clothes to entertain people. I like the rodeo because I like that it's a straight shootout. I like going. I mean, I'm a barrel racer. I like going fast. So I like that. I mean, the good thing about the barrel race is, like, you can go and make an off run and still get a check. Like, if you make an off run at the rodeo, you're just out. They're just gonna beat you into the ground. But I do like the rodeo because you can get paid more for less entries because the fees are higher. And I like rodeo because there's more variation to it. You go to a lot of different arenas, whereas with barrel races, they're usually the same 4 or 5 places every single year. And if your horse likes the pin, great. But I like to go see new places. I like to travel. And ultimately, rodeos are my favorite because I want to, hopefully one day I'd love to pro rodeo and go to the NFR. So rodeos, open rodeos, youth rodeos, whatever, are the perfect starting place to kind of get your feet in and test it out. So, yeah, those are just a few reasons.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. We absolutely killed that because that was the last question. The computer just died.
Yes.
We killed that. Anyway, thank you for being on here. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for having me.
And make sure y'all come back next week to see who our next guest is. Thank y'all. Bye.
Yay.